So continuing our discussion on the data architecture, we can represent the data architecture in many formats. We have seen some formats in the previous session, so let's see some more formats now. So we have a master data and the metadata. So that's talking about the overall data about the data. Here we work with various phases. The first phase is to register. In the register, we have registered various sources of the data like entrepreneurship, enterprise resource planning, finance, customer resource, relationship management, external, and many such things. Then from all these sources, the data is collected to the data warehouse. For doing this, the extract, transform, and load tools are used. So the first activity done here is extract the data from the various sources, and all the data from various sources may be of different formats with different forms, so they need to be made uniform before proceeding further, so that the effectiveness of the processing is improved. So for doing that, the data collected from various sources are transformed to some standard form and then loaded onto the database. That's a data warehouse. The data which is available from the data warehouse is then analyzed using the business intelligence tools, and these tools may be reporting tools, dashboarding tools, OLAP tools, analytics, and so on. And once the analysis is done, the results of the analysis are distributed through various portals, and they get to the users. So the data which is collected from the sources transferred to the warehouse, then analyzed through the appropriate tools. So you can create reports, we can create dashboards, we can create analytics, we can say online analytics, and then we then distribute them, and the response of the users is fed back as a reflex, and this whole closed loop continues. Another model for the data architecture, the data models. So we have the various data models. Then we have various relational databases where the data is stored. It may be databases, file system, and other sources. So that's the warehouse we have, and then it gets to the ETL process. So extract, transform, and load into the data warehouse. Here the data is stored as various marts, so that the appropriate mart may be used for creating the final report. So instead of working with the whole warehouse, we can store our data into appropriate mart, so that only a particular mart may be analyzed to create any required data, and that's done through business intelligence. So the reports are generated. another way of looking at it. So we have a multi-tier work. So there is a data tier where the actual data is available. So the data may be available from the Facebook, may be available from the Twitter, may be available from the sources like sensors and many such things. In the intermediate tier, the data are read by appropriate readers, and then all the data are integrated and dumped onto the database. And then at the application tier, so we have different results made available through appropriate adapters. So the analysis is done through appropriate applications, and we get a final outcome from these application tier apps, and these apps require data in their own format, so the conversion is done through the adapters. So that's another model for our data architecture. Then basically there are two ways of working with the data. One, when the data is coming in the form of a stream, then there are two ways of solving it. One is the streaming data is processed in real time. So that processing is done in the streaming process, and real time results are made available. On the other side, the streaming data are collected onto the database, and these collections are made into batches, and these batch of data are processed, and the batch data views are made available as information. So there is various batch views, and they are used to answer the queries. So any query may be answered using the information from the batch process or from the live data, or both together. So there are various queries coming from the users, and these users are using the queries are using the information coming out of the batch view and real-time view, and come out with the results. Another way of this process, the data stream is coming, and that goes into two parts. One is the master data, where the data is collected till one batch of data is formed, and when the batch of data is available, then a batch of data is computed, and various views are available at the server layer. On the other side, below, if you look at it, then the data available as a stream is processed as a stream, and real-time information is made available. So incremental real-time information are made available as new and new data are coming. Then incremental information is added to the overall available information. So that's made to provide incremental views, and that's real-time views are made available, and both the views, batch view, real-time view, are merged together to address any query. So there are various such situations are possible. So we can see